On 26th May 2020, former IAS officer Kannan Gopinathan posted a COVID-19 related infographic on Twitter. In the tweet, he claimed that India has the second fastest doubling rate of COVID-19 cases among all countries with more than 1 lakh cases. The infographic says that India's doubling rate is 14 days and that only Brazil has a faster doubling rate with 13 days. The average doubling rate shown for the total cases across the world is 32 days. Doubling rate is the time taken for a figure to double. Back to the infographic at hand, the number of positive cases considered for analysis in it was as on 26th May 2020. What we need to keep in mind is that there is large difference in the number of cases between the countries being compared in the infographic. While India has recorded over 1.45 lakh cases, the USA reported 16.62 lakh cases, followed by Brazil and Russia, with each having reported above 3.5 lakh cases. Meanwhile, the UK, Spain and Italy have well over 2 lakh cases each, all of this as on the day the tweet was posted. So, comparing doubling rates as on a specific date is not the right approach, as each country would have its own trajectory and it takes longer for a large number to double compared to that of a smaller number. A more rational comparison between the countries would be to check the time taken for each to double and reach the same figure of around 1.45 to 1.5 lakh cases, as this is close to the number of cases India reported as on 26 May 2020. When you consider this data, you will see that it took around 13 days for India to double up to 1.5 lakh cases. This is the fifth fastest among the top 11 countries with the highest number of COVID-19 cases and not second. At this number, the USA has the fastest doubling rate of 4 days to reach the mark of 1.5 lakh cases. It is followed by Russia, Brazil and Spain with 9, 10 and 11 days respectively. The other factors we need to consider while looking at such data are the peak and the size of the populations in question. A look at the number of daily additions of COVID-19 cases in several countries shows that a few of the countries which have the highest number of cases have been reporting fewer new cases daily than they did earlier. This includes Spain, Italy, Germany, Turkey, France, Iran and the UK. For the most part, these countries appear to have crossed the peak stage, at least for now, except for a random anomaly on certain days. On the other hand, the USA, Brazil and Russia have been consistently reporting higher daily numbers than earlier, similar to that of India. Whether the current stage is the peak for these countries is something we will only know in the future. Now, instead of looking at the dates when cases doubled, let us change the benchmark for number of cases itself. When we look at the number of days countries have taken to double to 1 lakh cases as opposed to 1.5 lakh which we were going with all this time, we find that 7 countries have taken fewer days to double to 1 lakh cases compared to India. Italy, Germany and the UK took longer than India for doubling to 1.5 lakh cases, but doubled to 1 lakh cases in fewer days than India. If the same doubling rate is considered at a different number, say 50,000 cases, there could be more countries that took a shorter time than India to double. Most of the countries in the infographic have significantly smaller populations than India and more or less reach the peak of their COVID-19 spread by the time they reach 1.5 lakh cases. So it is inappropriate to compare India with these smaller countries when we talk about the possibility of a larger number of cases in the future, as their rates have considerably slowed down. Instead, India may be compared with the USA, Russia and Brazil, as these countries' trajectories are more similar to India's. It is true that the number of cases in India is increasing and that this increase is likely to continue for some time in view of its vast population. But we also know that the rate of doubling at a specific number of cases is lower than those of multiple other countries that are adversely affected by COVID-19. When you come across a piece of news that seems too ridiculous to be true, don't leave things to doubt. Run searches on Google and Yandex and weigh out the true and false of the situation for yourself by looking at the facts. But first of all, before you hit that forward button, pause.